Hello Indie fans, part 2 of the new releases that I missed includes a number of strategy games, and among us like asymmetric multiplayer title with a traitor element, some roguelites, an awesome action platformer and a survival colony sim, and we do have a special Steam key giveaway as well, so keep your eyes peeled. I've mentioned Obsidian Prince when taking a look at upcoming roguelite titles, with this being a tactics variant with a voxel art style. I like the existence of a town building element as the meta progression layer, so it's a title to watch in early access. Tactical Troops Anthracite Shift is a sci-fi top-down turn-based tactics title going for and nailing that 80s sci-fi movie vibe, having a full single-player campaign and also supports multiplayer on 24 maps.
The world is so fragile and chaotic. It needs to be handled with silken gloves. The fear of death keeps people stuck in the past. Our calling as a brotherhood is to look to the future of humanity. We have trusted agents in every government institution that matters.
The 1.0 launch of Secret Government has you playing as the Illuminati, where you're controlling the direction of the world from the 17th century to the modern day. The indirect influence that you have on world leaders is the interesting part, where you are subtly manipulating geopolitics in order to achieve your aim, and intriguingly, there's more than one organization working in the shadows.
Along with Golden Guilders, the ideas of reformism and capitalism spread through Europe as it is torn apart by holy wars. We birth underground organizations, uniting supporters of new views to form a secret political force. Monarchs do not tolerate dissent, they will fall as we plunge their kingdoms into anarchy, while we bring other, more compliant people to power. People whose ideals resonate with our vision for the greater good of humanity. We rewrite laws and create new traditions, showing the world the true power of technology. Shifting some boundaries and erasing others. Cutting down those who dare oppose us. We determine what people will consider valuable and important. We give people the right guidance and usher them into the future. We dictate the ideas in people's minds. Thus, we control everything.
계획이 조금 틀어졌어. 학교에 원령이 잔뜩 들어찬 모양이야.
I'll admit, causality didn't appeal to me at the outset since it looked like just another RPG Maker title, but once again, we have the Steam community to thank for surfacing promising titles, where this survival horror title set in a school is a hidden gem in the genre, and comes to us from a Korean developer, so the influences should be slightly different.
무턱대고 덤비는 원원들을 상대하면 고생할 게 뻔하니까. 뭐 이보다도 최악의 상황이 있겠냐마는 비참한 심정은 알겠지만 지금부터는 냉정해지자고. 항상 침착하게 행동하고 이성적으로 생각해.
The tales of the old times speak of an unchanging world. Man, the spirits, the gods, each in its own domain taking its place in the way of things. So it was for 1,000 lifetimes of men.
Spelldrifter launched on the Epic Games Store after being an Apple Arcade exclusive and is a turn-based tactics RPG with a collectible card element, but does do the unfortunate thing with the trailer in that it is all narrative and art, but no gameplay, so just a tip for indie devs, please don't do this with your trailer.
Where it landed, it punched a hole through more than just rock, it tore at reality itself. The barriers between the heavenly realms were forever broken. From the smoking crater drifted a new kind of energy that the world of men had never seen. A power called magic. The old world had died. In its place came a world of wonder and possibility. Word spread of this new power. From far-off realms, people traveled to the crater to stake their own claim in this newborn world. A city took root. They called it Starfall. It is here that my rebirth truly begins.
If you enjoy adventure games, Don't Forget Me is quite the intriguing one, set in a jazz-punk world where you delve into the memories of your patients and uncover a dark conspiracy, touching upon themes like free will and consciousness, all with a neat pixel art style. The look of I'm a King did get my attention, looking like something from the Game Boy, where this narrative management sim is akin to Yes, Your Grace, but with a different look, where hopefully there is enough variety here.
Welcome to the Arctic, sailor. An icy hell if ever there was one. Fortunately, you'll be traveling aboard one of Her Majesty's finest warships. She's outfitted with the latest steam engines and boasts comfortable accommodations for 8 souls. Her one weakness is a voracious appetite for coal.
Dread Hunger is the first-person, 8-player multiplayer title in the vein of Among Us but is set in the Arctic with cannibals and dark powers, and will be of interest if you're looking for an alternative.
Hunt for food and supplies, but be wary of the many predators that call the Arctic home. Craft weapons and items to protect yourself and keep your crew in fighting shape. And last but not least, be careful who you trust. There is a darkness in the Arctic, and I have seen it turn men into monsters.
An adaptation of the classic play Cyrano de Bergerac. Battle with swords, muskets, and wits. Fight for friendship, honor, and love.
Cyrano is a wonderful RPG title that's from the developer of the wholesome letter-writing game Kind Words, being bundled together with the Ludo Narracon Supporter Pack, which was a digital event showcasing narrative games.
Write love letters to Roxanne using your own words. Win her heart for the handsome Christian, despite your own love for her. Become the greatest swordsman and wordsmith in all of France. Cyrano de Bergerac. Cyrano de Bergerac, a short game from Pop Cannibal, commissioned by fellow traveler for the Ludo Narracon Festival. Exclusively on Steam as part of the Ludo Narracon Supporter Pack. Hurry, available only for a limited time.
Developer 10 Tons Limited has been quite the prolific developer, having released titles like Tesla vs Lovecraft and Crimson Land, where Skeletal Avenger is their latest, an action roguelite where you're resurrected from the dead and have to avenge your own death. Always a fan of the genre, and the hook where you play as a skeleton is interesting since it does affect things like equipment and upgrades and is one to watch in early access. War Pips, self-described as Command & Conquer meets Nexus War, and is a tug-of-war strategy title where you have to deploy the right combination of infantry, armor, and aircraft in order to defeat your opponent. It's macro-focused instead of micro, so you do have to look at the big picture, but I thoroughly enjoy the overall vibe of this game. Froggy's Adventure is a neat pixel art action platformer with an interconnected world and deliberate combat, and is short, sweet, and worth picking up. In yesterday's video, I talked about how interesting Rounds was as a concept, applying roguelite procedural generation of abilities to a multiplayer title, and in a similar but different fashion, Switch Cars adds procedurally generated elements to essentially a side-scrolling runner title, making it quite the departure from your Dead Cells and Isaacs of the world, all with a cool pixel art style and is worth a play. Oh, I do also have a spare Steam key from this developer, so fastest fingers first. One of the most impressive multiplayer open world survival crafting titles is Cryofall, finally launching out of early access, which has added a substantial amount of content and is worth a look. Imagine RimWorld, but you control one character, having to cooperatively build your settlement, survive and upgrade as per games like Starbound and Don't Starve, and you get the idea. Do note that this is multiplayer only, but if you do enjoy this type of game, grab a couple of buddies and dive in, since it's a high quality title worth a look, taking the #1 spot. For more of the best co-op titles, check out this video and I will see you after the jump.